Hello everyone, my name is Canvas and in this video I rank every track in F1 25. The game features all 24 racetracks from the real 2025 Formula 1 season, and as part of a new feature, 3 of them have reverse layouts, but I do not consider them separate circuits just because we are going in the other direction, so I'm going with the official 24. I'm going to rank all of them simply based on how much I like driving on them, so this is all just my opinion. If you think differently, I would love to read your rankings in the comments. Without any further ado, let's start with 24th and last place, Austria. It's a really short lap with just a few corners and a ton of DRS, which makes it feel more like a qualifying test than a proper race. But what really puts me off are the constant track limit warnings. It feels like you're always getting punished for pushing. And then there is turn 5. Totally blind on entry, and for some reason, I can almost never get it right. It just never clicks with me. Vegas is second to last for me. The track just doesn't flow well, especially those first two corners. I either turn in too early or completely miss the apex, and it throws off the whole rhythm right from the start. Then there's that massive braking zone at the end of the back straight, where without a proper reference point, I never time it right. I'm either looking up or braking way too early. The scenery is incredible, I give it that, but driving on it is just not enjoyable. Let's move on to 22nd place. Usually I'm a big fan of street circuits, but Miami just doesn't feel right now. The massive runoff areas make it lose that tight, risky feeling I love about street racing. Turn 7 really bugs me. It's a blind corner, so you never quite know where to position the car, and it's way too easy to get a track limit penalty there. It feels like the track is trying to be a street circuit, but can't quite commit to it. 21st place goes to Spain. It just feels a bit generic, there's nothing that really makes it stand out. One corner that always throws me off is turn 5. It looks faster than it actually is, which catches me out more times than I would like. On the bright side, I'm glad they removed that awful chicane. The two fast corners that replaced it are actually the best parts of the track now and bring some much needed flow and excitement. Number 20 is Monza. I know it's a legendary track, but honestly, I've never been a fan of all the chicanes. They just break up the flow too much for me. And the races here tend to turn into absolute carnage, especially at turn 1. It's fast, sure, but not in a way I find particularly enjoyable. 19th place goes to Canada. I don't find the layout particularly exciting, most of the lap just kind of blends together for me. But I will say, I do enjoy pushing right up against the wall of champions. There's something really satisfying about nailing that final chicane and getting as close as possible without hitting it. 18th place is Azerbaijan. I'm not a fan of the long straights followed by endless 90-degree corners. It makes the track feel a bit repetitive and disconnected. But I do enjoy the tighter sections, especially around the castle. That part actually feels like a proper street circuit. Narrow, technical, and super satisfying when you get it right. 17th place goes to Mexico. I really like how the first sector has 2 DRS zones. It's great for overtaking, but I do wish they had separate detection points so you could fight back if you get passed in the first one. I also enjoy the tight, technical section in the second sector. It's really satisfying when you nail it. What really brings the track down for me is the stadium section. It looks cool, but it's so slow and awkward to drive through. Number 16 is Bahrain. It feels a bit generic to me, very similar to any modern Grand Prix track. Staying within track limits here can also be tricky, especially on corner exits. That said, I have to give it credit where it's due. The layout works really well for racing. With multiple long straights, DRS zones, and heavy braking points, it does deliver great feel to wheel battles. 15th place goes to Texas. Honestly, a lot of what I said about Bahrain applies here too. Wide track, big runoff areas, very much a modern style Grand Prix circuit. But I do like the layout more overall. Dashes in the first sector are really fun when you hit them right, and that long right-hander near the end is super satisfying to carry speed through. Number 14 is China. The track actually gets off to a great start, turn 1 is super unique, constantly tightening, and really fun to get right. The rest of the lap flows fairly well too, until turn 12. I seriously don't think I've ever nailed that corner. The racing line just never feels natural there, and it breaks the rhythm for me. Still, overall it's a decent track. 13th is Silverstone in the United Kingdom, the birthplace of Formula One. It's gone through a lot of changes over the years, but even in its current form, it's still one of the best. My only real gripe is that slow section early in the first sector. It kind of kills the momentum. But after that, it really opens up. The Maggots, Beckett, Chapel sequence is iconic for a reason, and I've got a soft spot for Cops and Stowe. Those fast right-handers just feel great to drive. Number 12 is Brazil. I admire its old-school nature, it flows nicely and has a ton of character. The two DRS zones also do a great job of setting up overtakes, which always makes racing here fun. That said, I'm not a huge fan of the slower corners in the midsection, and turn 12 in particular always messes with me. I've never really found a good braking reference for it, so I end up either too early or too late every time. 11th place is Australia. I didn't really enjoy it before the recent layout changes, but now it flows much better. The removal of a few slow corners really helped the rhythm, and with a record-breaking 4 DRS zones, it's more suited for proper racing. My favorite part has to be the super fast chicane. It's high speed, technical, and super satisfying when you nail it. We reached the top 10 with Japan, one of the most legendary circuits in all of motorsport. The first sector, with those iconic S's, is basically perfect. They have this incredible flow that feels amazing when you link them together just right. I also really enjoy the Dagnar corners. Fast, technical, and super rewarding. But Spoon, I've always struggled with it. The line's tricky, and I rarely come out of it the way I want. Still, it's an unforgettable track. 9th place goes to Belgium, another truly legendary venue. The track is long, fast, and wide, which makes it great for racing. The multiple long straights and wide lines give you plenty of opportunities to set up overtakes, especially in track 125. It's one of those circuits that just feels built for wheel-to-wheel battles, and it delivers more often than not. Number 8 is Imola. I really enjoy the high and mid-speed corners. They have a great rhythm, and the track punishes you if you get it wrong, which makes it super rewarding to drive cleanly. The only downside is overtaking. Apart from the first corner, there just aren't many good opportunities to make a move, which can make races feel a bit static. But in terms of pure driving, it's one of the most satisfying tracks on the calendar. 7th place is the Netherlands, which for me feels pretty similar to Imola, lots of fun high and mid-speed corners that really keep me engaged. What holds it back a bit is turn 3. In real life, it's this deeply banked corner, but in the game, you don't really feel that effect, and the racing line through it ends up feeling weird and unnatural. On the flip side, I absolutely love the turn 11 and 12 sequence. It's tight, technical, and incredibly satisfying to nail lap after lap. Number 6 is Hungary, my home track. Honestly, I didn't like it much at first, but over time, I've driven it so much that it's really grown on me. That, combined with the emotional connection of it being my home Grand Prix, has turned it into one of my favorites. It's tight, technical, and it punishes you if you make a mistake, but that's why it's super rewarding once you get into the rhythm. We reached the top 5 with Abu Dhabi. It actually used to rank even higher for me before the 2021 layout changes, but I still really enjoy it. The overall flow is solid, and I love how the two DRS zones, fit by the chicane, create great opportunities for wheel-to-wheel battles. And visually, the atmosphere is top tier. The modern facilities, the marina, and especially the part where you drive under the hotel make it look incredible. 4th place goes to Qatar. It's a fairly new track on the calendar, but I connected with it right away. The layout is packed with high-speed corners that are both challenging and incredibly fun to drive. It's one of those tracks where you are always on the edge, but in a good way. The only thing holding it back from being number 1 is how unforgiving the track limits are. You are constantly second-guessing your exits, and it can get frustrating over a full race. On the bottom step of the podium is Singapore. I've always had a soft spot for street circuits, and this is one of the very best. It's long, it's technical, and it demands full focus from start to finish. You are constantly turning, constantly on edge, and that intensity is exactly what makes it so enjoyable. I don't really have a specific favorite section, I just love the overall challenge it brings. Just missing out on the top step is Saudi Arabia. It's another intense street circuit, but what sets it apart is just how fast it is, way faster than you would expect from a track like this. We are flying through narrow sections at full speed, and you constantly have to skim the walls to stay competitive. One small mistake and it's game over, which makes the whole thing feel incredibly high stakes. It's a challenge I genuinely enjoy. And the winner is Monaco. It's the most iconic track in Formula 1 and also the oldest on the calendar. Narrow, technical, and absolutely unforgiving, this place punishes every little mistake. There's barely enough space for a car, let alone 20 of them, and that's part of what makes it so special. It's home to the slowest corner of the year, the Fairmont hairpin. But soon after that comes my personal weak spot, 48-2. I don't know what it is about that corner, but I always struggle to hit the apex cleanly. After that comes my favorite section, the chicane after the tunnel. Braking from high speed and threading between the walls is just insanely fun. And the sequence of corners that follows, like Tabak and swimming pool, flow beautifully when you are in the zone. It might not be the best for racing, but for pure driving challenge, nothing comes close. Every lap around here feels like a personal test. I've driven this track countless times, and it's been my favorite ever since the first time I picked up an F1 game, and that hasn't changed one bit. So that's my full ranking of every track in F1 25. Feel free to write down your own list in the comments below, I would love to read through them. And if you are into racing games in general, I also made a video ranking every track in Forza Motorsport, feel free to check that out too if you haven't already. But that's it for this one, don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to see more. Goodbye for now.